Hey TCKs and non-TCKs. If you saw my last video, then you heard me talk about Mother's Day, and I want to go into a little bit more detail about how holidays can be rough. So for myself personally, my parents are based in the South Pacific, specifically Solomon Islands, where the time zone is such that most holidays, not most, but like all holidays really last for 48 hours instead of just 24. And you know, in my last video I talked about how TCKs, you know, because we move around so much, because we are global nomads, globetrotters really, it's not just missing family, it's also missing, you know, the culture that we're used to celebrating holidays in. And for this video, I kind of wanted to go into a little bit more detail about how the 48 hours of holidays can be really rough sometimes. It is Mother's Day here in the US. Yesterday was Mother's Day in Solomons. So we are, well, I am. I'm on day 2 now of Mother's Day. But I remember Christmas and New Year's being particularly difficult, you know, because not only is it like, oh, well, you got, you know, Christmas Day, you got New Year's Day, you also have Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So it's like, it's double that, you know, you get 48 hours of Christmas Eve and then you get 48 hours of Christmas, and in between, you know, they're kind of overlapping, and, you know, same with New Year's. And, you know, that can be really hard. And I know for myself, personally, my TCK grief hits pretty hard during those times. And so I just kind of wanted to share and talk about that. In the past, I've coped with 48-hour holidays with work, just filling my life with as much work or school as possible, and you know, it hasn't always been the healthiest for me. When I first started this channel last year, it was over the Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas time that I completely just cut out, and that's when I really stopped doing the videos. And today I was, you know, thinking, I was like, okay, I should really talk about this. And then, you know, I started the video and then I stopped and I was like, what am I doing? How do I even communicate, you know, this struggle and TCK grief just sort of in general, you know? There are resources out there that you can look up and read about, and trying to raise my own self-awareness, I've, you know, read some of those resources, and they say that TCK grief is different from depression, and it's different from, you know, grief in a general broader sense, because growing up in our childhood, teen years, TCKs go through so many hellos and so many goodbyes that if that's not facilitated well, it can lead to, I don't want to use the word issues, but yeah, I don't really know what other word to use. It can definitely bring additional baggage, I guess, that we have to deal with, you know, further on down the line, where it's like, all right, holidays, here we go. Let's do this. Let's knock it out. And yeah, I just really wasn't looking forward to this weekend in general. You know, it's like, how do I effectively communicate to non-TCKs the emotions? And I didn't want to talk about it, but at the same time, I want to communicate to other TCKs that you're not the only one going through this. You know, and I understand that non-TCKs also experience, you know, hardships with holidays. But I wanted to try and just address this, especially the day of. It's hard, you know? The time difference, because Solomon Islands is a day ahead. You know, I get to see all my friends and my family overseas, you know, they're all posting about, oh, happy Mother's Day. And then 12 to 24 hours later, I get to see everyone here in the US say the same thing, and it's like, it doesn't stop. You know, it just keeps going, and I really miss my family. And it's not just the family that I miss, it's the places that I miss being in, you know? Because TCKs are global nomads, we are globetrotters. We've been in so many places, sometimes I don't even know where I'm missing, like what specific location I'm even missing, you know? Am I missing a different state because I have really good memories of celebrating with friends or family in other states, or am I missing other countries or cultures or just people? Or it's like sometimes I can't even pinpoint exactly what it is I'm missing. I just know that I'm missing people, or that I'm missing something, and that it's just hard because it's just such a TCK moment. And then, you know, you're talking to your non-TCK friends and you're like, oh yeah, my parents live overseas. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. It's like, it does suck. So today it's Mother's Day here in the US. I was able to call my parents early this morning, late last night their time. You know, it was Mother's Day in both time zones, you know, that overlapping time, and I felt really good. I really enjoyed chatting with them and just kind of catching up and saying Happy Mother's Day. But I wasn't really looking forward to the rest of today. You know, everyone's out doing things. It's one thing when Solomon Islands is going through their Mother's Day because they're already overseas and I can't be like, hey, you want to hang out today? And then they'd be like, no, I'm sorry, I'm hanging out with my family. But when it's Mother's Day or, you know, another holiday here in the US, you know, people are with their families, and it's like, not only was I not able to be with my family yesterday, but I don't have many friends that I can hang out with on the day of in the time zone that I'm in because they're with family. So it's a double hitter. Yeah, really was not looking forward to today or this video really. But I did want to address it, and I do want other TCKs to know that if you're going through similar emotions or similar thoughts, that you're not the only one. And I also want you to know that it's okay and it's healthy to hurt. You know, to acknowledge that yes, you do have people and places that you're missing in times like this. And of course, be grateful, be thankful for, you know, the place that you're in and the people that you're with, the time that you're in it. And yeah, make the most of everything, definitely, for sure. But also, I, again, just wanted to acknowledge the TCK grief. I think something, you know, I have pretty vivid memories of just hanging out with other TCKs, and we would all be laughing and just hanging out, and then, you know, one of my sister TCKs, we were all laughing and having such a good time, and then she just suddenly broke down and just started crying, and we all knew, you know, we knew it was that grief kicking in, that even though we were having such a good time hanging out with each other, it was like, you know, I'm laughing and having such a good time with you guys, but just laughing the way that I am with you makes me miss and remember the people that I left in my heartland or my homeland. And you know, I think non-TCKs struggle to understand the scope and the depth of that grief, and how instant it can be, how such little things can trigger it, and you don't even have to be in a negative kind of mindset for it to just pop in and, you know, trigger you. You can be having the best time of your life, and then suddenly you look over and the sky is, you know, a certain shade of whatever color that suddenly, you know, you remember your homeland, and you're like, yeah, that's right. It's kind of a sobering moment where it just really hits hard and reminds you of the reality that you are in a different place. And not just that you're in a different place, but you're in a different place again. And being reminded of the again portion of that statement can sometimes just be a downward spiral, where it's like you suddenly remember all of the goodbyes that you had to say, and so it's not, you know, you can't always be specific, and you can't always just pinpoint one specific thing. And it can be hard. So, hey TCK, if you're out there, and if the holidays are a struggle for you, again, I just want you to know that you're not alone. That it's okay to go through the emotions. That it's not just okay, but it's healthy to go through the emotions. It's healthy to acknowledge that and say, yes, I do hurt. And it's also okay to say, I don't know what or who I'm missing, because it can be confusing. Not alone. So hey TCK, it's a big little world out there. Let's make it smaller.